Hello and welcome. I am so excited to be here with you for Sales Mastery, and we're going to begin with the prosperity is in the preparation. Just take that in for a moment. The prosperity is in the preparation. So think about for your own sales process, what have you been doing? What have you already got prepared, and what are you needing to get prepared as well? And I'm going to start you out because it's very important to have a foundational belief around sales. Being in a relationship with a potential client and having a conversation with them to sell your product or service is in service to the client. One of the biggest false beliefs that I hear when it comes to sales mastery or the sales conversation itself is that they feel like they're being pushy or they're being salesy. And in order to eliminate that, you're going to need to shift your perspective and see from the perspective of the client. So take a moment right now to think about something that you've invested in, perhaps even investing in the School of Feminine Fortune as an example. And you will begin to realize that being a part of this investment, you making the investment in the School of Feminine Fortune and you being a part of the School of Feminine Fortune is a gift to you. And so when I'm on the phone with someone who's ready to sign up for the School of Feminine Fortune, I'm already in the foundational energy of knowing that I am being of service to this person. The services that I have and the products that I have in my company are things that are life transforming and money transforming and business transforming. So how could I possibly think that I'm trying to push that on someone or that I'm trying to sell them someone? When I talk to potential clients or potential students, I'm always thinking through the lens of what is in this person's highest and best good. And if it's not the school, or if it's not my coaching services or anything else that I offer for that matter, then I'm going to make that assessment and be honest with them. So whenever you're coming from a place of honesty and integrity and authenticity, and your top priority is the person that you're speaking with, it's their well-being, it's their highest and best good. If they're not ready for coaching, or if someone's not ready for the School of Feminine Fortune, I'm going to let them know. And if you notice, when I say that, that is coming from a foundation of not a scarcity mindset, not a poverty mindset. So it's not, gee, you have a credit card, give it to me and let's work together. I'm very particular, and I have been even from the very beginning when I was in a financial pickle. And the point is that you need to shift your energy, because when you get on the phone with someone to have a sales conversation, they're going to feel your energy. If you're leaning forward and you're like, oh my God, I hope they sign up and I hope they give me their credit card today. And that is the pushiness. So if you shift your energy and you lean back in the sales conversation, then the energy is totally different, and your client will also feel that. They'll feel as if they're being supported. One of the things that I've done in my company from the very beginning is I'm willing to get on the phone with anyone, even if they're considering a different program or a different coach. And the reason for that is because I am so incredibly passionate about the coaching industry at large and the power and the magnitude that it has to help heal people and bring them back to their own wholeness. And because of that, I am willing to take a stand for the coaching industry that I'm in. That's my world. And get on the phone with people and really help them to identify, is this program or is this person going to help them? And is it going to be their fastest path to the transformation that they're looking to receive, whether that's a relationship transformation or a health transformation or a money or a mindset transformation? And I really invite you in this moment to think about your own level of integrity and your motivation behind going into a sales conversation with someone, because all of these things that I've just spoken about are the exact things that you need to do for your inner preparation in getting ready for having multiple sales conversations with people and looking at increasing your conversion rates and increasing your sales and increasing your service. So they're directly related. When you're in integrity and authenticity, you're going to be doing sales and service in conjunction with one another. They're really the different sides of the same coin. And then there's the outer preparation that is required. And this is where I see a lot of women get tripped up. They think, I need to have a website and I need to have a social media presence. And they go out and they start spending all this money on all of these different things that they might not even need. One year I did a speaking presentation in January, and it was probably, 2 or 3 years into being a coach at this time. And I was invited to do a presentation, and it was a small presentation. There were probably 10 people there. And I did maybe a 30-minute presentation, and I made my offer at the end, and I signed up 4 brand new 90-day coaching clients. At the time, my packages were $4,000, and I brought in $16,000, and I had an opportunity to serve 4 new clients in their businesses and helping them to really elevate their businesses. And so I tell you this story because it's a perfect example of, yes, I did have a website at that time, and yes, I did have a social media presence at that time. But in order to go do a simple speaking presentation for 30 minutes, all I needed was myself, my preparation, and then a form that I use at the end of the speaking presentations to invite people into a sales conversation with me. And then in the sales conversation, obviously I have the opportunity and the mastery level skills to book them into a coaching package. So really paying attention and having a consciousness around each thing that you're doing in this moment at the beginning of your path to even greater sales mastery is going to have you being in consciousness with yourself, being in consciousness with your clients, and being in consciousness with your business, so that you're not going out and unnecessarily spending money on things that you don't need in this preparation phase. So you can begin to bring in money that will then fund the things that you need, instead of you starting out of the gates and going, I need this and I need this and I need this. And that is really an important process for especially virtual entrepreneurs, because the capital isn't necessarily there all of the time for women who are working in the online space. So certainly for those of you who are in the offline space, you have the opportunity to perhaps go to the bank and get a loan and invest in your business and invest in yourselves. I don't know anyone in business who has gotten to a level of success that hasn't utilized capital to grow and build their business. It's part of the process. And this is something that you need to know, because when you are speaking to people and having a sales conversation, you're going to need to educate them on the things that you're learning in this particular course, because a lot of people are out there and they think, I'm going to wake up and be an entrepreneur today, or I'm going to wake up and invest in myself today. And they don't realize that it is going to require that they take a risk, that they invest in themselves, and that they're going to need to look at what it is that they're going to receive. Most people, when they make investments, they think, I'm spending all this money, and they don't think about why are you spending that money and what's the transformation that you're going to have at the end of that investment. And that is where true prosperity lies. So getting all of these things in place for yourself is going to have you feeling more comfortable and confident. And on the sales call, you're not going to have things coming into your mind like, oh my gosh, I forgot to do this, or oh my gosh, I don't have a way to process a payment and I need to have the client now send me a check. This is not the 1980s, and it is required for you to be able to have the components and the technologies and all of the information together for you to be set up for the best possible success. If you're on the phone with someone and they go and say, okay, great, I would love to work with you, and how much is the product or service that you're offering, and do you have a payment plan? And you're like, because you're being put on the spot, if you will, and you may freeze up and forget. So having a document or having a paper printed out with these details right in front of you. I don't have all of my products and services and payment plans memorized. And they change often too. So even still, when I'm in a sales conversation with someone, I will be prepared by having this information already pulled up so that I'm not going, hold on a minute, let me check my document to see what's my payment plan. So the way that you come off as a sales master and as a professional businesswoman is by being prepared and taking the time that is required to get that preparation down and have everything that you need in place. And as you go along the journey and as you have more sales conversations and more sales conversations, you're going to learn, I think I actually do better when I have a sparkling water on my desk when I'm having these conversations, or I do better when I'm barefooted and I'm walking around, or I do better in person when I'm meeting with someone directly. So allow yourself to have your own process and begin to learn about you and what works for you, and not going and adopting like, well, hey, Rebecca said she did it this way, so I have to do it that way. And then it doesn't feel comfortable to you, because that's not going to set you up for success either. So really allow yourself to be in the process and begin to take the clues that are coming to you in each conversation and thinking from the lens of, how can I be more excellent? How can I do this even better? How can I set myself up for success even better? And what is the preparation that I need? And maybe you identify that you need to work directly with a one-on-one mentor in my company, or with me, or with someone else that helps to really dive in and deconstruct your sales process. That, in my coaching, one of the services that I provide for my clients is that I will allow them to record their sales conversations and literally deconstruct it for them so they can identify the exact steps of where they can do things better. And that may be something that you require. So just allow yourself to be where you are, and don't make yourself wrong, and sit in the energy of leaning back in the sales conversation. Get your preparation pieces in place, and I promise you that the whole process will continue to unfold and blossom so that you become a master at sales.